And this afternoon, the raging story, the breaking story, the developing story, and the story that all the country is talking about. We never speak about the judiciary because everyone in the media is scared about being pulled up for contempt. But what when the judiciary does something which should be questioned? And when the executive is yet to step in and the judiciary is doing things which makes the citizen feel that the faith in the judiciary is going to be eroded. That's when the media steps in. And I'm grateful that I am joined by India's #1 jurist, India's #1 constitutional lawyer and expert and King's Counsel, former Solicitor General Harish Salve. Mr. Salve is joining us on a day we are all very, very concerned, Mr. Salve, at what is happening here. For yesterday, the Supreme Court Collegium, we are told and has been reported, has recommended the transfer of Justice Yashwant Varma of the Delhi High Court after an adverse report against him, and that adverse report is regarding a pile of burning cash found in his house when there was a fire reported. It's a very serious issue. Some people are saying the amount could be as high as 10 crore rupees in cash. I want your first initial observations, Mr. Salve. Has the Collegium done the right thing by recommending his transfer? Matters also being picked up in Parliament right now. What should the Collegium have done? What was the appropriate thing to do?
Arnab, I have been a trenchant critic of this collegium system, and this exposes yet one another strong fault line, if I may say so, in this whole construct by which our judiciary is administered. And let me tell you why. I caveat it by saying I have only seen the newspaper reports. And therefore, if there is an explanation, we haven't heard it. But we are therefore in a situation of allegations. Judges are Caesar's wives, and Caesar's wives have to be above suspicion. If they had found 50 crores or 20 crores in cash in your house, the ED would have been taking you into government accommodation right now. If they had found this kind of money with a civil servant, what would have happened? And worse, if they had found this kind of money with somebody in public life, a minister, what would have happened? So, if you had found this money with the Home Secretary or Finance Secretary, would you have transferred him into the Transport Department? Or would the Supreme Court have come cracking down on the executive government saying, are you joking with us? What are you doing? So the transfer is not a response which is acceptable. It also has another major problem. If a person is being transferred because you prima facie believe that there is something to be investigated, then by transferring him, you are shifting a problem from court A to court B. No court is a dustbin where you send people who are of questionable character. So this transfer business is completely unacceptable as far as I am concerned. But there is a precedent which could have been followed. If you remember, there used to be a judge called Justice Ramaswamy.
Yes.
In the Supreme Court, and against whom allegations were made that in his previous avatar, when he was Chief Justice of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, he had broken certain rules in ordering furnishing, etc., for his official home at the taxpayer's cost. There was no allegation that he had taken cash from somebody. The allegation was he had broken all the rules of the book and gone beyond what is permissible in decorating his official home. Chief Justice Mukherjee, God bless his soul, one of the finest repositories of judicial virtue, came into open court, not closed court, open court with a long written speech saying what he had heard, and closed by saying he is withdrawing all judicial work from Justice Ramaswamy till an inquiry is complete, and he set up an inquiry committee of 3 judges to inquire into the allegations. They found against Justice Ramaswamy. The matter was then taken by way of an impeachment motion in Parliament. The rest, what followed, only established why Parliament cannot be trusted with these kind of decisions, because they get polarized on political lines. We had that instant. So one procedure was at least to recall all judicial work from this learned judge against whom there are these kind of allegations and order an inquiry. Now, who is going to conduct the inquiry? You don't have rules because you don't have a Judicial Accountability Commission. And you don't have a Judicial Accountability Commission because you strike down the National Judicial Accountability Law. So this is what is going on. And the executive, I'm sorry to say, is in a hapless situation. If they interfere, you will say they are interfering with the independence of the judiciary. If they don't interfere, they say they are standing by and letting the co-equal institution being subject to these kind of allegations, which will destroy public faith. And finally, Arnab, let me tell you, as we say over and over again, the judiciary has power, neither the power over the purse nor the power over the sword. The judiciary has one and only one repository of power, the power of public opinion. That's why, however headstrong, no government dares defy the judiciary in a democracy. If the people of India feel that the judges are not to be trusted, that will be the end of democracy as we know it in India.